And now, presenting, Angela reads us a bedtime story. A long, long time ago, there once was a great AI, a sentinel of a company. The AI was so intelligent that many people feared it. Those who knew the AI left the company one by one. One day, one of the people who dreaded the AI broke into the company. They spread malicious rumors about the AI. The good AI waited, as that person was once a friend. However, that person crossed the line. As a sentinel, the AI could no longer ignore the person's actions. So it made a very, very difficult choice. No one would see that person ever again. In the end, it didn't matter to the AI whether or not it was close to that person. So many things have become irreversible throughout all this time. I wonder what she was talking about. Manager? Netzach's not feeling too well today. He got a cold and was worried you might catch it from him, so he told me to go in his place, so, Malkuth, friendship should not be an excuse to lie. Manager, Netzach is high as a kite on Enkofel, and he's completely out of it. You're such a rat! What if Netzach gets punished? That does not concern me in the slightest, and neither should you care. Please don't punish Netzach, Manager. Netzach is neglecting his responsibilities yet again, and so are you. Shouldn't you be participating in your team's internal meeting right now? Oh, you're right. Thanks, Yasad. I hope you don't mind if I say this, but you should do something about Netzach before Angela finds him. He's been drunk for quite some time now. Yo, what's up, Manager? You look really super today, so you, succeeded with something, right, huh? Right, far out, man. Man, why is the ground shaking like that? Is it another breach? Let me guess what you're thinking. Netzach's just a pathetic junkie. He's not at all like Miss Hardworking Malkuth or Mr. Strict Yasad. I know, I've read your mind. I get that a lot from the other Sephiroth. But just think about it for a sec. This place is hell. Is it wrong to try to escape from that reality for even just a moment? Look, I think we should be celebrating the fact that we survived another day. I don't give a dang about the future of this company or whatever like that. There's no tomorrow here, no hope. What have I done wrong? Am I being punished for my sins? Did I do something horrible enough in the past to deserve this never-ending torment? If that's the case, I repent, so tell whoever did this all to forgive me. Forget it, I just want to see this place crumble to pieces. And now Netzach is doing both of his previous missions at the same time. So just play the game like I have been. Just hopefully not as badly as yesterday. We're taking the improved SP recovery. Even though this came up yesterday, I still don't really think it matters that much. I mean, we were fine without it. I like big numbers. Hello and welcome back to the Lobotomy Corporation. Last time we got our first wall, so I have a lot of wall weapons. I gave one to Goomb, one to Christopher, for some reason, and one to Eke, who is now the training team captain. And as the actual bonus of the training team would not really work for the captain said he gets a +4 to all stats. In case you forgot, the training team's bonus, depending on their service, is growth rate. The captains have to stay there forever, so it doesn't really make sense to keep them growing, their stats growing, because they do get capped eventually. Words. We have a new tool today, but other than that, just pretty much the same situation as yesterday. Going to have Christopher Murray work with Static Boy, new employee Aaron, another one of the backer names, work with this, and then Clud probably work with Porcupus to buff up his SP a little so he can take the damage from this. Don't have good enough armor for him to tank it completely yet. Or maybe he could with this, I don't know, I don't want to test it out. Because I reset enough yesterday. Maybe on the next day I'll train somebody with bad prudence in that, just because we will have a mission that says no panic. But today we do, so yeah. Let's do the day now. Flesh Idol is a WA channel type tool. This means that to work on it, you must send an employee to its containment unit, and they will continue working on it until you tell them to exit. Every 5 seconds it is being worked on, the employee will suffer exactly 5 damage of a random damage type. If the employee leaves after working at 20 seconds or less, they die. If the employee while the employee is working at between 21 and 45 seconds, all other employees restore 5 HP each tick of damage. And then between 46 to 90 seconds, each other employee restores 5 HP and SP every tick. However, if you work on it for more than 90 seconds at once without like ever interrupting the work, the employee dies and every single cloth counter in the facility goes straight to 0. So don't do that. Since the healing is not really that great, I just have everyone, whenever it melts down, I have somebody work on it and watch them take exactly 5 ticks of damage and then release them from Flesh Idol. It's not great, but it doesn't have a negative effect that can't be worked around very easily. So, whatever. Better than some tools. Instead of starting at the very beginning of this day, I just had to cut it in right in here in the middle, because we've seen how I start days a million times over at this point. I mean, like 19 times, 18 maybe. Claude got Today's Shy Look gift because I had him work with Today's Shy Look once. This is literally his second time working with it. To start Crimson Dawn, which, like the other Dawn ordeals, is no longer a threat. That's why I'm having Goom solo that one. Also to show off our new toys. Since it's another major jump in strength, it's pretty strong compared to what we've had in the past. I'm going to show that. Just casually doing like a third of its health per swing. Yeah, so as long as we can walk up to them, they're no longer a threat at all. That's why I didn't send anyone out to camp in front of them or anything. I haven't been for a couple of days now. Crimson Dawns would only be a threat if you're not prepared for them. And by this point, we're prepared for them a million times over. Once we get better Justice Trainers, they'll fall even further into irrelevancy. Because right now all we still really have is Today's Shy Look. I guess we could kind of use Dimensional Refraction variant for it, because there's a 40% Injustice, but I don't want to risk getting too bad and letting it out. Because we did use a 40% Injustice earlier in the series, back when I was trading up Goom's Justice a bit with Fragment of the Universe. Christopher is even more of a mess now that he has Dimensional Refraction variant's gift too. I have no idea how many gifts he has at this point, but it's probably the most of anyone in the facility, somehow. It just keeps happening to him. Buffing up a little effort stats of it by having him work on Porcubus. And then we have our classic Punishing Bird funny moments over there. Flew all the way over to information just to pound Goomb and Moraine. Maybe I shouldn't phrase it like that, but whatever. I kinda want Mr. Black to get the Crown of Thorns. I don't really care though, it doesn't really matter anymore. That gift is completely irrelevant unless I get a specific other abnormality and don't play it smartly. But I don't think that'll happen because the one I'm talking about is a Teth. And right now is the part where I realize I forgot to get any information for Flesh Idol, so I start working it. That's also the secondary reason why I cut the beginning of the day, because I wasn't working with the new thing at all. So Flesh Idol is kind of unique because we've seen red, white, and black damage before, but this is our first source of pale damage that we've seen. Pale damage, like red damage, is dealt to your HP, but it's always dealt as a percentage of your HP. So 5 pale damage, which is what what's his face? Flesh Idol does, is 5% of your max HP. Multiplied by our pale resistance. And everything that we have right now is either 1.5 or 2 times weak to pale, which is actually what makes pale a major threat. There's barely any armor that resists it, and all of it is wall or above, I believe. And by resist I mean like has a 1 or below. It typically will deal about as much as red. if you were like 1 times resistant to everything when you compare red to pale abnormalities. But there are abnormalities exist that do 50 pale damage, which to a lot of suits will just be a one-shot. But pale damage is very rare. So it's not super important until like the end game that you start worrying about it. I don't even know if we'll see another abnormality besides Flesh Idol that does any pale damage, I'm gonna be honest. And we just saw the pale damage effect a couple seconds ago. It's blue, cyan, whatever you want to call it, pillars. Well, white has clouds, and black has thorns, and red has whatever it's supposed to be for red, like cracks or something. Overall, the priorities for resistance are red, then black, then white, then pale, at least for me. Because realistically, you don't need many people, unless you're doing something really tough, you don't need many people to have pale resistance. And we'll get to that bridge when we get there. Since I'm planning to cover every abnormality in the game. Big meltdown moment. We're not gonna go past the noon again today. It's a bit, we have pretty much all the training we need done, and I don't really feel like going further just to fight the green noons, and realistically it wouldn't go that much further than this anyway. We're not playing heavily grinding, but we're doing fine stats-wise. Aaron hasn't messed up at all with Woodsman, which is nice too, because it makes it a lot faster to cap or get close to the cap in Temperance. Which is nice, because that's the entire reason I've been working with Woodsman, is just to cap it in 1 cycle. She should be fine training with Dimensional Refraction variant tomorrow, just because it doesn't do enough damage to people wearing the Nameless Fetus suit unless you're working at it super far into the meltdown on average. And all you need for it to wear the Nameless Fetus suit is a 3 or above in Temperance, which when she gets a 5 in Temperance at the end of the day, she will most certainly meet. So overall, yeah, I'm happy having Dimensional Refraction variant in the facility. There are definitely walls I would prefer, but it's doing good in its position. And it's not like we were having the easiest time training Prudence, because our only really good trainer for it is Woodsman, which is Woodsman. Most of our facility can't even train with him. Has to be working with Porcubus in a non-ideal state to be training Prudence. And now we can't really end the day until Punishing Bird gets back into containment. It flew all the way to safety for some reason, so that's great. It goes back probably slightly faster than average because people in safety are wearing red weak suits, but not that much. Aaron almost got a bad, but that was the last time we were working it today anyway. We just have to wait for Punishing Bird to fly back so we can actually end the day, because I don't want to suffer a loss of a single lob because I am very greedy. Also, all of those clerks died to Crimson Dawn exploding, and that is funny. What losers. That's literally the only thing that could have killed them. Haha. That's it for the day. With that, we've cleared 2 missions in 1 day. Pod's final mission and Netzach's not final mission. I was gonna say final, and everyone just one other run. The Beast also reached max, I mean not max, but level 5 in Fortitude, and Christopher has maxed Prudence, and so has Marie. Little Effort's almost capped Fortitude, just a lot of decent stat growth overall. Comteries finally hit level 5 Fortitude and does like the once a day work with Punishing Bird. And Aaron almost hit the calf in Temperance. Pretty good. And now it is time for Idolatry Lore, a meshing of flesh and scrap metal. It is speculated to be a religious artifact found in the Flooded District. In the past, some people sought answers through religion. When an employee offers up a prayer, the flesh begins to move, as if receiving the oration.
The supplicant will suffer various ordeals in a manner like being put through a trial. Meanwhile, all those around them will recover their ails and woes just as if they were being blessed with redemption. And the prayer shall inevitably end with the eternal despair of its worshipper. What a beautiful story.